Douglas clears the way. The engines were finding times hard. The snow was causing problems to many. It blocked the lines and made it difficult to work. Unless, of course, you were Donald and Douglas. The Scottish twins spent most of their winter periods clearing the lines of snow. They puffed busily backwards and forwards, clearing the lines for the engines to get around the island. During this time of year, the new controller's engines get a chance to collect supplies from the main line. But not all the engines were happy with the change in the weather. "It's just not right," Alfred grumbled to Boko at the junction. They were waiting for their respective rides, and Alfred was grumbling. "I had a rather hard time trying to get out of the yard this morning," he huffed, "and there's been more snow than ever. I never used to put up with this." "Well, the south never gets much snow," said Boko soothingly. "It's lucky, if you want my opinion." Alfred huffed. There was a whistle from the main line, and Douglas pulled in, pulling what seemed to be a giant snowman on wheels. The snowman was in fact Ross, who was frozen to the frames and rather blue. "Ugh, hey," grumbled Douglas, "as if I didn't have enough work in me buffers. This happens to yon engine gets himself stuck in a snowbank." "Well, I didn't mean to do it on purpose," shivered Ross, and Boko chuckled. "He sounds just like you, Alfred," he remarked. Alfred humped off in a moody strop. At midday, the engines were chatting in Oakham Road yard. Ross was in the shed waiting to get steam up, and was feeling warmer. But Alfred, Douglas, and even Leo was cross. "All this snow's taking up me time," Douglas grumbled. "If only Donald were here." "Yes, where is Donald?" Leo asked. Douglas sighed and explained. A few days before the snow came, a diesel from the other railway came to deliver goods to Sodor. Unfortunately, when he was due to return home, he failed outside a big station, and the fat controller told Donald to take him home. But on the way back, he was delayed by the heavy snowfall, and wasn't due back for another 3 days. "Sir," Douglas finished, "I've been left to hold the fort." "Well, you done well so far," said Leo. "But even so, you could do more than that," Alfred huffed. Douglas was just about to make a retort when the new controller came up. "Symes has broken down at Vickerstown," he told them. "Douglas, I need you to go and help him, and I also need you to get me there. I have an important appointment to attend to." "Aye, sir," replied Douglas. "Edwin's heading up that way as well. We'll travel up with him," the new controller added, and headed up to the platform. Edwin was at the platform, preparing to take his goods, when he saw Douglas backing down towards him. "What's going on?" he asked. "I can manage." "Yon controller's asked me to lead," replied Douglas. "I have to go and take him, as well as fetch yon Symes as well." "Oh, right," said Edwin. When they were ready, they set off. With Douglas on front, he cleared the snowdrifts with ease. Edwin was impressed. "For a Scotsman, you really know how to handle snow," he remarked. "Ugh," said Douglas. "Me and Donald have been doing these for most of our lives. It's just a wee knack, you know." Presently they arrived at Vickerstown Yard, where Symes stood feeling a little flustered. "I would have to go and blow a fuse, wouldn't I?" he sighed. "Can't be helped," remarked his driver. "These things do happen." Douglas pulled up, and his driver asked Symes's driver what the matter was. "His fuse is blown," he answered. "He needs to be towed to Oakham Road for a new one." While things were being arranged, the new controller clambered down and made to his bicycle. "Now, Douglas," he said, "please take Symes back to Oakham Road, and then you can go back to the main line. I'll be staying out for a while, have a little errand to run." He pedalled away. Douglas was soon coupled to the front of Symes. "Right then," he called to Symes, "let's get you home." "Much obliged," replied Symes, and the two engines set off. The way back was easy, because of the snow Douglas had cleared on the way up. "What's that?" Douglas called out. It seemed to be a large clump of snow which had fallen from the cutting, covering the line ahead. "We'll soon clear that," said his driver, and Douglas began to make a charge at the clump, when he suddenly came to a stop. "What's wrong, lad?" asked his driver. "It's only a wee clump of—" He stopped mid-sentence. He heard what he thought was a "baa" from the clump. He took the fireman's shovel, and he cleared away some of the snow, to find out it wasn't the snow at all. Some of it was sheep. "Oh, sakes!" exclaimed Douglas. "How did that get there?" "It must have gotten caught in the snow when it slipped from the cutting," said Symes. Just then John arrived with the farmer and 2 cattle trucks from the other line. "Goodness!" he exclaimed. "I wasn't expecting to find any snow here as well as sheep." It took some while to clear away most of the snow and dig out the sheep. They were cold and very miserable. With everyone's help they managed to herd the sheep into the trucks, and John took them back home. Douglas reversed a few inches, then charged into what was left of the clump of snow and made their way. It wasn't too long before the 2 engines arrived back at Oakham. Everyone was waiting for them. "Well done, Douglas," said Mr. Williams. "You can push over to his sheds. We'll take it from here." "Excuse me, sir," Douglas asked, "but what maybe can this special be?" "Why didn't we tell you?" Mr. Williams smiled. "We'll show you." Kirsty pushed Harriet the steam crane into place, and the workmen removed the tarpaulin from one of the trucks. Douglas was surprised to see a large Christmas tree lying on a flatbed truck. "Been waiting for this tree to arrive a week ago," Mr. Williams explained, "but it got delayed by the heavy snowfall." Harriet lifted the tree into place, and Kirsty pulled her back to the sidings. "Feels you've been having a good Christmas this year," Douglas sighed. "We hope so," Mr. Williams remarked. "Well, thank you for your help, Douglas. Do hope you'll come back soon." "Ugh!" smiled Douglas. "I hope so too." And with that, Douglas puffed away, satisfied with his day's work.